Hey y'all, it's Sharon and I'm back to share another video with you guys. If you're new to the channel, I am a 20-year veteran of a southeastern city in the US. I policed for 20 years there. I'm sharing my stories and my experiences with whistleblowing in hopes of helping others. And I share my perspective and experiences in a way that kind of story tells, but they're all facts and they're all true. So with that being said, this is going to be probably part 3 of the Whistleblower's Diary. I'm going to start with the fact that I told you guys the story about how I became or had to retire and what happened with my shooting and some of the experiences with that. But I also wanted to share with you that maybe I didn't stress it strongly was the fact that the fear that was encompassed around shooting. And some people had no issues with shooting. So I can't even imagine what that felt like. But for those of us that did, and there was plenty of us that were just apprehensive before shooting, I think anyone would be. Some of us took that anxiety onto the field, onto the shooting range. And then it showed with our shooting and things like that. I'm talking to those folks and they know what that feels like, the anxiety that follows you. And probably carrying so much stress with personal life and things like that. But the other thing I want to share with you was they used to shut the range down for the higher ups, meaning the white shirts and above. That could be a lieutenant all the way up to chief. When they were on the range, they trained together and they shut down the range. Nobody could come on. Right there sends a message to the troops, if you will, the ones that boots on the ground, the ones that are actually working. Us versus them. You are not with us. You close down the range from regular officers. And the stories that we heard coming out of there as in people struggling to shoot, but they worked with them and helped them. I want to get back to the message it sends when you close down the range. You close it down to the other officers when the higher ups are shooting. Even if it was honestly just trying to stay focused and help the higher ups that are struggling, it sends a message to the rest of the troops. And the message got to me too. I shared about the fear again in writing letters when emails would come out and it's so threatening, you better, and you've got to, otherwise we're gonna take your extra job. The way that I make money to feed my family, you're gonna take that away from me. It's fear, it's nothing but fear. And it's run by fear. But then on the other side of the proverbial mouth of the system, if you will, you're talking about we're comrades and we're brothers and sisters in blue. Brothers and sisters in blue, but you treat me, now I'm talking about the inner workings within the rank and file, as if I'm not family, as a stranger. You're giving me all this fear. Where's the love? You know, people would say it's a job and you need to, yeah, I agree, but it's human beings working the job. Human beings with feelings and things like that, and situations, personal life. And a lot of the higher ups would manage in that way. And I use the word manage on purpose. Leaders, that's a whole different group. We had a lot of managers. And I'm gonna stick to my story. The whistleblowing. I had to whistleblow twice in my career, twice. I'm gonna talk about the last time because it happened around 2010. And it was a search warrant. I was on auto theft at the time, and I got to search warrant 2 hours late. I don't even remember why. But when I got there, I noticed some things, and I even pointed that out to the sergeants. And one of the sergeants was like, don't even worry about it. I pointed it out to a couple of investigators. One investigator, I guess he's gone now. He said to me, I don't even see nothing. Don't point nothing out to me. And I'm like, wow, okay. To speed it up, probably a week later, I was called in. Somebody called me, an officer friend called me, and he said to me, what was going on out there? And I told him, and then he was like, I'm going to have to say something. And I was like, oh my gosh, because I've gone through this. Back in 2003, officers on my very own team had N-word jokes about me and my partner, the guy that I used to ride with, and chicken and biscuit jokes. And I had to tell them what was told to me. And even to sidebar for a second, to the first time I had to whistleblow, there was an individual that was on that team. He came a little bit after I left because they transferred me out. And he was leaving. It might have been 2 years later. He was leaving the department, and I went to his going away little party, and he was drunk. And you know what they say, a drunk mind speaks a sober tongue. And he's like, Walters, everything you said was true. Those mofos, they were lying. And I know for a fact that they said what they said about you. And I was relieved because I was vindicated almost, because he was saying it loud enough at the party for other people to hear. Now, did they believe it? I don't know. But for him to come to me in his little drunken, whatever you want to call it, and he said to me, oh, and he happened to be a white guy. And he said to me, it's wrong and it's effed up what they did, Okay. Fast forward to 2010. So that's why I had that reaction when the friend of mine said, you got to tell somebody. And I said, okay, well, let's go. And I went down, had to make a statement. And when I walked out the office, everybody that I had to tell something on was standing in the hallway. What kind of, I'm like, wow, okay. So then, of course, the ostracism, people rolling their eyes. I'm trying to keep policy where it says you don't talk about it. And it just went downhill from there. I was transferred 7 times in 1 year, 7 times. And remember when I went back to the video when I said practices that are not policy and policies that are not practice? To be transferred in 7 times in 1 year is unheard of. And I couldn't prove that it was an act of retaliation because you can't grieve a transfer. I talked about that in another video. You can't grieve it. So how do I prove it? I even tried to sue the city. The 2 lawyers that I had, I paid $3,000 to, and they didn't do an ounce of work. They always came across like they were so scared of the city. There's so much more to it, but why I'm sharing this is the stress of all of that. And mind you, I have to live. And I was in a PhD program. And then I got to worry about officers maybe possibly doing something to me. You know? But you can make it because my spirituality, my faith in Jesus Christ, that's when I had to run to him. You know, sometimes we put Jesus on the back burner and like, I got it from here, I got it, but just handle this. And that whole situation helped me to see, you need him all the time, but he's always with me also. I did realize that. That's what got me through the shooting. That's what got me through the harassment, the ostracism, the people talking off on the side, the people that don't want me in the unit because I'm the snitch, sergeants telling me, well, you know, if you just not talk as much, I could get you over here. No, we're not doing all that. I've had sergeants say to me, you know, we got you over here because you can do X, Y, Z and you're pretty good at it. And I would flip it on them and say, no, I make you look good. That's why you got me over here. And that was, you know, another militant moment. That's what they call being a militant. No, you're not going to put that on me. You brought me over here because I make you look good, not because you're doing me any favor. Whole nother story. But as a whistleblower, you can get through it. You need support and some faith. It could be Buddha, it could be Jesus, it could be Muhammad, but you need faith in something higher and bigger than yourself to get through this. Because when I tell you the mechanism in place, the machinery, the policies and the practices that are in place to put pressure on an officer because you're snitching on other officers is immense and it's incredible. But there's something bigger than that. My God is bigger than that. But that's all I want to share with you guys today. Next week, I'll be sharing another experience with you. Not so much about what happened, but just a perspective, okay? And check out our online store. The link is in the description. I've also created some notebooks with fire police, educator, and regular folks, essential workers, if you will. I put the links in the description. Check those out. They're only available on Amazon. And remember this, you don't necessarily have to go through a thing to learn from it. Talk to you guys later. Bye.